You know what Miyamoto Musashi, professional poker players, and an entire generation of kids born between 1965 and 1980 have in common? They all learned the same survival skill. Read the room before the room reads you. For Musashi, it was life or death on the battlefield. For poker players, it's millions of dollars on the table. For Gen X, it was just getting through Tuesday. And here's the thing nobody talks about. They got really good at it. Too good. So good that the skill that saved them as kids is now the thing quietly destroying their ability to trust anyone as adults. This isn't about nostalgia. This is about a specific psychological pattern that shaped how an entire generation moves through relationships, work, and life. And if you're Gen X, this explains why you feel like you're always behind glass. If you know Gen X, your parents, your boss, your partner, this is why they operate the way they do. We're covering 3 things in the next 8 minutes: why they became human lie detectors, what it's actually costing them, and how to keep the superpower without the prison. Stay till the end. The last one's the one that changes everything. Let's go. You're 8 years old. You walk home from school. You open the front door. The house is empty. Not mom's running late. Nobody's coming home for 3 hours. You know the drill. Lock the door. Don't answer the phone. Do your homework. You're on your own. But here's what you also learn. You need to read the signs. Is dad's car in the driveway when he gets home? That tells you his mood. Is mom's coat on the hook in the right spot or thrown over the chair? That tells you if she's stressed. Do they look at each other when they walk in or past each other? That tells you if tonight's going to be quiet or tense. You get really good at reading those signs. You have to. Because you need to know. Is it safe to ask for something tonight? Is it safe to just be loud and be a kid? Or do you need to stay small, stay quiet, stay out of the way? So you develop a 6th sense. You notice tone. You notice energy shifts. You notice when someone says, "I'm fine," but their body language says the opposite. You see the gap between what people say and what they mean. And 30 years later, you're still doing it. You're reading your spouse's face when they come home. You're scanning your boss's tone in emails. You're analyzing your friend's pauses in conversation. You can spot a lie from across the room. You know when someone's performing. You can feel when the energy's off before anyone else even notices. But here's the cost. You can't turn it off, and you assume the worst. That's what we're talking about today. Real quick, if you're already feeling this, hit that like button. It helps more people find this. And subscribe, because we're going deep. Point 1. Why they became human lie detectors. Gen X didn't choose to become hypervigilant. They were trained into it. Latchkey kids. Divorce epidemic. Both parents working. The first generation raised on figure it out yourself. They came home to empty houses. They navigated unpredictable emotional landscapes. They watched their parents' forever promises break. They watched companies lay off their parents after decades of loyalty. The lesson? No one's coming to save you. And people lie, not because they're evil, because they're inconsistent. They say one thing and do another. They promise stability and deliver chaos. So Gen X developed a survival skill, pattern recognition on overdrive. They learned to read micro-expressions, tone shifts, energy changes. They learned to detect inconsistency before it became a problem. They learned to see betrayal coming so they could brace for it. Dr. Stephen Porges, who developed polyvagal theory, explains it like this. Your nervous system develops neuroception, unconscious threat detection. When you grow up in an unpredictable environment, your system gets hypersensitive. You start scanning for danger constantly, even when there's no danger present. That's not paranoia, that's neurobiology. And here's the thing, it worked. Gen X became strategists. They became independent. They stopped expecting people to show up, so they weren't disappointed when people didn't. They developed what Mike Caro, the poker legend, called reading tells, the ability to spot when someone's bluffing, when someone's faking confidence, when someone's hiding something. That's a superpower in business, in negotiation, in leadership. They don't get played. They see through manipulation. They're 3 steps ahead because they've already mapped every possible betrayal. But here's what Caro also noticed. The players who got too good at reading tells started seeing them everywhere. They'd fold winning hands because they convinced themselves someone was bluffing when they weren't. The skill that made them great also made them paranoid. That's the trap. Point 2. Why they're so bad at trusting. So here's what happens when you spend 40 years scanning for danger. You find it. Everywhere. Someone's late. They don't respect your time. Someone's quiet. They're pulling away. Someone's enthusiastic. They're performing. They're hiding something. You're not imagining it. You're pattern matching. but the pattern is outdated. Here's the psychology. Your brain built a trust template in childhood. And if that template says people who say they care eventually leave, your brain applies that to everyone: your spouse, your friends, your kids, your coworkers. It's called a false positive. You're so good at detecting danger, you see it even when it's not there. Dr. Jamil Zaki at Stanford studies cynicism, and here's what he found. Cynical people are better at detecting deception. They're right to be vigilant, but they also miss genuine connection opportunities at twice the rate of non-cynical people. They reject real offers of trust because they're waiting for the betrayal. And here's the brutal part. That rejection creates the betrayal. You keep people at arm's length because you don't trust them. They feel it, they pull back, and you say, "See, I knew they'd leave." You just created the outcome you were trying to avoid. If you're Gen X, you know this pattern. You're in a relationship. Things are good, but you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. You're scanning for signs they're losing interest. You're looking for the exit before they find it first. You're at work. Someone gives you positive feedback. You don't believe it. You think they're softening you up before bad news. Or they want something. Or they're just being polite. You're with friends. Someone shares something vulnerable. You don't match it. You deflect. You make a joke. Because vulnerability feels like handing someone a weapon. You're so good at reading people that you've forgotten how to be with people. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." Gen X, your revenge against the people who let you down was to become someone who never fully lets anyone in. But that's not strategy anymore. That's a prison. If this is landing, hit the like button. It pushes this to people who need it. Point 3. How to keep the superpower without the prison. Here's the move. You don't kill the skill, you recalibrate it. That hypervigilance, that ability to read people, that's not the problem. The problem is you're using a wartime strategy in peacetime. You're still treating every interaction like you're 8 years old, trying to figure out if it's safe to ask for something. So here's what you do. First, distinguish between wisdom and armor. Wisdom is noticing patterns that are actually present. Armor is assuming patterns that aren't there. Before you assume someone's pulling away, ask yourself, is this person actually showing me red flags right now? Or am I projecting old data onto a new situation? Most of the time, you're projecting. Second, recalibrate the threat detector. Your nervous system is stuck in yellow alert. It thinks it's protecting you, but it's exhausting you. So you teach it. Not every silence is rejection. Not every delay is disrespect. Not every conflict is abandonment. Here's the practice. Notice when you're scanning for danger in a safe situation. Name it, out loud if you have to. I'm doing the thing. I'm looking for the betrayal that isn't here. That awareness alone starts to shift it. Third, intentional vulnerability. This one's hard, but it's the one that breaks the cycle. Pick one person who's shown up consistently, and make one small bid for trust. Not a big dramatic confession, just something real. Say the thing you'd normally keep to yourself. Ask for the help you'd normally refuse. Admit the uncertainty you'd normally hide. And watch what happens. Most of the time, they meet you there, and your brain starts to learn. Not everyone leaves, not everyone's performing. Some people are actually safe. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Gen X, you mastered independence. Now master trust. Not blind trust, not naive trust. Strategic trust. You keep the ability to read people. You keep the ability to spot BS. But you stop assuming everyone's lying just because some people did. You mastered reading people. Now master trust. Not blind trust. Strategic trust that keeps the superpower but drops the armor. And here's the real question. What's one relationship where you're still waiting for the betrayal that hasn't happened yet? Be honest. Drop a comment. No judgment, just awareness. See you next week.